So today we're tackling something I think pretty much everyone can relate to.
I'd be honest.
That moment, that little internal panic when you realize you've completely forgotten someone's name.
Ah, yes. The classic blank. Definitely been there.
Right. So our jumping off point today is actually a transcript. It's from a fictional English language learning podcast.
Okay.
And it uses this dialogue, this scenario, to teach some phrases, but for us it's like perfect material.
How so?
Well, it lets us explore why this happens, why it's so awkward, and, the kind of communication strategies we actually use to get through it.
Makes sense. It's a common problem.
Exactly. So the scene is basically this. A chance meeting. Two people, Liam and Sophie, they met before at some networking thing. Sustainable business, I think.
Right. Vaguely remember each other sort of thing.
Yeah, precisely. And the core of it, the sort of aha moment we're digging into, is Liam suddenly realizing he has no idea what Sophie's name is. It's just gone.
Oh, the dread. Yeah. It's universal, isn't it? That momentary freeze.
Totally.
And even though the source is about language, like she said, the social stuff underneath is really, really interesting. It kind of shows our vulnerabilities.
Yeah, and how we try to patch things up, right? Those awkward little gaps.
Exactly. Clever ways we try and bridge them.
You can almost feel Liam's little flicker of panic in the dialogue. It captures it really well.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows how you can handle it, without total disaster. And a big part of that is Sophie's reaction.
Ah, okay. What did she do?
Well, Liam eventually just comes out with it, admits he forgot,
Yeah.
and she says something like, "Oh, no problem. It happens to me all the time. I'm terrible with names, too."
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Right.
Yeah, because what's fascinating there is how it just immediately, diffuses the whole situation, takes the pressure right off Liam.
Yeah, it normalizes it.
Exactly, by saying, oh, me too.
Yeah.
Basically, she removes that sort of sting,
Yeah.
from his forgetting.
Yeah, the embarrassment factor.
Right? It makes it feel like a shared thing, like we're all a bit rubbish at this sometimes,
Yeah.
which is a super effective way to handle that kind of social awkwardness.
It really is. Now, okay, the dialogue is meant for language learners, so it introduces some useful phrases. And they're actually pretty relevant for just navigating conversations generally.
Sure. Like what?
Well, take in a bit of a hurry. Liam uses that. He can't chat for long right then.
Okay. Yeah, in a bit of a hurry. It's polite, isn't it?
Mhm.
Means you don't have much time, but you're not being, rude or dismissive about it.
Exactly. The source gives examples like, "Can we talk later? I'm in a bit of a hurry." Shows how you'd use it day to day.
Right. It suggests it's temporary, Not that you don't want to talk, just can't right now.
Yeah. Then there's contact details. Pretty straightforward one. Liam offers his card.
Yeah, basic stuff. Phone number, email, the info you need to get in touch. Like on a business card.
The source has examples. "Can you send me your contact details?" That kind of thing. Standard for wanting to connect later.
Sure, makes sense.
Okay, but let's get back to the core issue. The phrase Liam uses for forgetting. Slipped my mind.
Ah, yes, that's a great one. Slipped my mind.
I agree.
Well, it's just such a gentle way to admit you forgot, isn't it?
Yeah, it sounds less deliberate or careless.
Exactly. It suggests the information was there,
Yeah.
But it just, poof, vanished temporarily.
Yeah.
Not like you never bothered to learn it.
Right. The examples back this up, like, "I meant to call you, but it totally slipped my mind." Very conversational.
Yeah, implies it wasn't intentional. Just, oops.
Then we also hear Sophie ask Liam what he's doing around here.
Ah, right. Checking if he lives nearby or works nearby.
Yeah, exactly. Around here. Just meaning, near this specific place.
Super common phrase. Essential for, placing yourself or someone else geographically.
Yeah, like the examples say, "Is there a coffee shop around here?" Or "My friend lives around here." Basic orientation in chat.
Mm-hmm. Fundamental.
And circling back to Sophie's brilliant response, she actually says she's terrible with names.
Yes. Yeah. Which is such a relatable, lighthearted way to admit a weakness.
Totally.
And the examples show it works for anything, right?
Yeah.
She's terrible at technology. They're terrible with directions.
Yeah, definitely know people like that.
We all do. It's just a nice way to connect by saying, hey, I'm not perfect either, without making a big deal of it.
Definitely softens the blow for Liam. Okay, one more little language point from the dialogue, the opening greeting. Liam just says, "How's it going?"
Ah, yeah. Classic. Very natural.
Way more casual than "How are you?" sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of the default casual greeting, isn't it? On the street, bumping into someone at work.
Yeah, anywhere, really. It's just a quick check-in. Doesn't demand a whole life story.
Exactly. Just friendly noise, pretty much. much.
And, the source material, the original podcast transcript, it even had the hosts sharing their own little anecdotes.
Forgetting names.
Yeah, like forgetting a classmate's name right after meeting them, or even forgetting the name of your boss's wife, apparently.
Ouch. Okay, that last one's a bit higher stakes.
Right, but it just shows, it makes it human. It reminds you, okay, this happens to literally everyone.
Yeah, that shared vulnerability thing again makes it less daunting.
So, okay, let's really get stuck into the strategies we see playing out here. Liam goes for directness, right? He says, this is really embarrassing, but your name has just slipped my mind. Can you remind me? Is that the best way? What makes it work or not work?
Well, it definitely takes a bit of guts, doesn't it, to just admit it flat out.
Yeah, you're putting yourself out there.
But I think its effectiveness comes from being, well, efficient and actually quite respectful.
Respectful, how so?
By saying, this is embarrassing, he's showing he understands the social convention, that he knows it's a bit awkward.
Okay, acknowledging the awkwardness.
Right, and then just asking directly. It cuts through the potential fumbling around, trying to guess or avoid saying the name. It lets Sophie just give him the answer easily. No games.
Yeah, avoids that whole awkward dance trying to figure it out indirectly.
Exactly. Which can sometimes make it even more awkward if you get it wrong.
True. Okay, so directness can work, but Sophie's reaction is, like you said, crucial. Her own no problem, I'm Sophie Adams, it happens to me all the time. I'm terrible with names too.
Yeah.
That's just chef's kiss. Perfect diffusion. What's the magic there?
It's got multiple layers, I think. First, no problem, immediate reassurance.
Right, takes the pressure off.
Then she gives her name clearly. Simple. But the key bits are, it happens to me all the time, and I'm terrible with names too.
The normalization and the shared flaw.
Exactly. Normalizing it makes Liam feel less like an idiot.
Yeah.
And sharing a similar flaw creates empathy, connection. It completely changes the dynamic from potentially embarrassing to like a moment of shared humanity.
Yeah, it totally reframes it. Suddenly it's not his failure, it's just a thing that happens.
Right. And that makes the interaction much more positive moving forward.
Yeah.
He probably feels way less self-conscious after that.
It really does underline how just being honest and maybe a bit lighthearted about it can turn these potentially cringy moments into something, well, more human.
Absolutely. It feels like the takeaway isn't never forget a name, because let's face it, you probably will.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
The key is having a way to navigate it gracefully when it does happen.
Like the dialogue show.
Yeah, because trying to bluff your way through it or like avoid using the name altogether,
Yeah.
that often just drags out the awkwardness.
Or leads to even worse situations down the line.
Definitely. So that straightforward admission, ideally met with an understanding response like Sophie's, seems like the cleanest, most effective approach most of the time.
Okay, so just to quickly wrap up the main points, we've looked at some handy phrases that came up. In a bit of a hurry, contact details, the all-important slipped my mind around here, and admitting you're terrible with something.
Right. And the greeting, how's it going?
Yeah.
All useful conversational bits.
But crucially, we also dug into the communication strategies in that little exchange.
Yeah, Liam's honesty, even if it felt embarrassing for him.
And Sophie's really empathetic, normalizing reply, just smoothing it all over.
Exactly. The power of grace in conversation.
So just as a final thought, why is it so hard sometimes? Remembering names. Our source didn't really go into the neuroscience or anything.
No, but it makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, think about meeting people, especially somewhere busy like that networking event Liam and Sophie were at. Your brain is processing so much.
Oh, massive cognitive load.
Yeah.
New faces, trying to listen, trying to think of smart things to say.
Exactly. It's actually kind of amazing we remember any names sometimes.
True. Maybe we should cut ourselves some slack.
Maybe. But also, thinking about how we handle it when we do forget, using that honesty, that understanding we saw with Liam and Sophie, maybe that actually builds connection rather than damaging it.
That's a really interesting point. Owning the imperfection makes you more relatable, perhaps.
Could be. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other little social faux pas, those everyday slip-ups, could we handle better with that same kind of openness and empathy?
Yeah, definitely food for thought. How much awkwardness could be avoided with just a bit more honesty and understanding on both sides?
Something for you all to think about out there.